These are my Premier League 25-26 predictions, and make sure to stay to the end to find out who makes top 4. I'm going to start from the bottom and then going up, so we're going to start off with the 3 relegated teams. Unfortunately, I have predicted the same 3 promoted teams to get relegated again after it happened for the first time last season. And I do think Burnley are going to finish bottom. It's just, I think they've lost too many star players in Brownhill, Egan Riley, etc. And I don't think they've bolstered enough. I think Scott Parker's he's a good manager, but he's not amazing. Same goes for Sunderland, who are put 19th. I just don't think their squad is good enough, and they've made a lot of signings, and it's very hard to get them all to gel together. And I've got Leeds in 18th, only because I know they've made it in the Premier League recently, but I'm just not convinced about Daniel Farke. He was rumoured to leave at one point, to leave Leeds, but obviously not getting promoted in his first season back in the Championship was, seen as a failure. So all in all, a lack of quality, I would say, in the squads. Now over to 17th, 16th and 15th, I think it's going to be Brentford, Wolves and Everton. I think Brentford and Wolves have both lost too many players. Brentford obviously losing Mbeumo, Norgard and Flecken, and potentially even Vista as well, which could be really bad. Wolves losing Cunha and Aït-Nouri. I just think that is going to be too much for them, especially Brentford with losing Thomas Frank. But I still have them to stay up. Same with Wolves and Everton. I'm not convinced about Everton's squad. They have bought Dewsbury Hall just before I recorded this, and I don't know if they're going to make any more signings in the next few weeks. If so, it could change, but as of now, their squad is just not good enough. In the mid-table here, 14th to 10th, I've gone for Palace and West Ham in 14th and 13th. I just think Palace, with Europe now after winning the FA Cup, they're going to struggle. They've got an alright team, but I just don't think their depth is there. As for West Ham, I've not been convinced with the summer transfer window. Our squad is good, we've got good starting 11, but I just fear that when injuries start to come forward, when AFCON starts to play, we are going to struggle. But I do think Graham Potter can do a job in the long term, but I'm going to put us 13th. 12th, 11th and 10th, I've gone with Brighton, then Fulham and then Bournemouth. Brighton have obviously lost a few players, however they do that every single year and they manage to re-bolster their squad, so I'm not too worried about that. I think they'll be 12th, not too amazing but not too bad. I think Fulham are going to finish 11th, they've been very quiet in this window but I think they stay consistent throughout the season. And in 10th I've got Bournemouth. Even though they've lost majority of their defenders, I still think that they'll manage to put in a shift. I think their attacking players are actually some of the best in the league, so I think they'll be alright. 9th, 8th and 7th, teams just missing out on top 6, but 7th most likely will get Europe. I'm going Forest in 9th place. I do think they'll struggle with being in Europe, but I still think their squad is quite good, and they signed 2 players from Brazil, from Botafogo, who look quite good actually, and Ndoi as well, who I'm quite excited to see. Still think they'll do alright. I've got Aston Villa in 8th, and then Newcastle in 7th. Obviously Nottingham Forest losing Elanga to Newcastle is a good bolster for Newcastle, but ultimately it all depends on what comes down to this Hope Isaac arrangement, but I'm going to put them 7th because I still think they have got a decent squad and Eddie Howe is a good manager. As for Aston Villa, I have put them just below. I don't think they've been vocal enough in the market. They've sold a few players and I'm just not convinced. Now, top 6, I have this year gone for the traditional top 6, but I think that Spurs and United are going to do better than they did last season. Even though Spurs are going to be in Europe, I still think Thomas Frank will do alright. I put them 6th, but I have a feeling they could drop off a little bit more. But they made some nice signings, they've lost Son, I think they'll do alright. Man United, I do really like their signings. I like Cunha and Mbeumo. I'm not sure about Sesko. I like buying players that are proven Premier League quality, and as for Sesko, we're just not sure. So I have put them 5th. Now moving on to the top 4, now these could have gone any direction generally, but in the end I went for Man City in 4th purely because of the fact they've bought so many players, including the players from January. It's going to be hard for them to gel. Players aren't going to be consistent, but I still think they'll do alright and they'll be in that title charge towards maybe Christmas. In 3rd, controversially I've gone for Arsenal. Even though they've got Gyökeres, I'm just not convinced they're going to get him to play right in his first season. I'm not saying he's not going to work out, but I'm saying give him, a few months, even maybe a year, to properly play. And I think with that price tag, it's going to be hard for him to really come into fruition. 2nd, I have gone for Chelsea. I like their squad. I like the way they're playing. They've got quite a good amount of depth as well. They've sold out some dead weight, some players they just didn't need, especially goalkeeper department, and also, of course, Madueke, Felix, and Nkunku might be going as well. I do like their squad. I think they're gonna surprise a few people, and I think they're gonna be second. And then first, of course, I'm gonna go for Liverpool. It's a very boring one, but their squad on paper is just too good. With Wirtz, with Ekitike, Kerkez Frimpong. I know Slot hasn't had major issues so far in the Premier League with injuries, and he's sort of done it quite calmly, but I think he's going to have a few issues. I think it'll be closer than it was this year, but I do still think he's gonna narrow it. I think just pure quality is going to go down to Liverpool. Those were my league predictions. However, I am also going to do 3 sort of wildcard picks for top goal scorer, most assists, and also the player of the year. So, as for who's going to get most goals this season, I'm not convinced by Haaland at City this season. I think he's going to get a good chunk of goals, but I don't know if he's going to be top goal scorer. Same with Salah, especially with the age. I think he's going to get rotated more this season. I'm going to go for Cole Palmer. I think with the Club World Cup playing quite well in the knockout stages, I think this is going to be Palmer's year. I think he's got some nice players around him, like João Pedro. Esteval looks quite good as well to play around him, and I think he's going to do very well. Most assists, I think Saka is going to get. With obviously getting a new number 9 in Gyökeres, I think he's going to have more to aim for in that box, getting crosses in and playing well. I think he's going to get most assists. Player of the year this season, I think it's going to be Cole Palmer. I think he's going to be very good this season. I don't know why, I just have a feeling. Last season, towards the latter stages, he didn't do great, but I think this year could be his year. I think he is really going to step up his game. Obviously last year I did these same predictions and it went alright. I got the relegated teams correct, but then when it came to the mid-table I had Forest there and they obviously outperformed what we thought they would, and so in all I would say my predictions were on average. That has been all for the video. Let me know if you want to see maybe a video dedicated to more about West Ham, a preview of how our season might go, or if you want to see some other maybe fantasy Premier League content or anything like that, just let me know what you want to see and I'll sort it out. Otherwise, you can check out some videos or playlists, some stuff you might like, and otherwise I'll see you guys in the next video.